For China, Central Asia is almost as important as Pakistan. The People's Republic, which many see as the world's factory, needs Pakistan as the only link to the Middle East and its oil. Central Asia, on the other hand, is a region of great geostrategic importance for Beijing, as it accounts for about 4% of global energy deposits. Therefore, in Central Asia, China has mostly energy-based economic interests. Since China's energy demand is expected to expand 75% by 2035, in the foreseeable future, countries such as Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan and Turkmenistan, and possibly even Afghanistan, will likely face strong Chinese economic and conceivably military presence. I'm your host Kasim, and thanks for joining me for another KJ vid. In this video we will look at China's interests in Central Asia. I'd also like to take this opportunity to encourage you to visit our website kjvids.co.uk and sign up to our subscription plan, which will give you unlimited access to our content and the full transcripts of all of our video reports and a lot more analysis. China has at least 3 major goals in Central Asia. It aims to build oil and gas pipelines to transmit energy from Central Asian countries all the way to China's east coast. Beijing also wants to launch and eventually expand the Eurasian Railroad to transport goods from China's manufacturing bases in its coastal inland, as well as from border regions, all the way to Europe. Finally, the People's Republic seeks to protect the stability in the autonomous region of Xinjiang in the country's northwest, which is a home to several million Uyghur people who are predominantly Muslim. It is no coincidence that China is interested in good relations with countries that border this energy-rich province. Total reserves of natural gas, coal and other fossil resources in Xinjiang account for more than 20% of China's energy reserves. It is also the country's only gate to the west, and it borders other energy regions in Central Asia. That is why Beijing has zero tolerance for any religious extremism or ethnic separatism in Xinjiang. It is worth noting that 2 main pipelines from Central Asia to China, the Central Asia-China gas pipeline and the Kazakhstan-China oil pipeline, are already in operation. The Central Asian-China gas pipeline, spanning Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan and crossing Xinjiang at the border town of Horgos, transported 40 billion cubic meters of natural gas when it was first built. It is connected with China's second west-east gas pipeline, which starts from Horgos and ends in Hong Kong, stretching 8,704 kilometers. When it comes to natural resources such as gas, oil and uranium, Kazakhstan plays an important role in China's Central Asian policy. Beijing considers Kazakhstan as a key resource and a link in its energy security nexus. The former Soviet Republic is also the most important Central Asian transit state for Beijing's efforts to link Western China to markets in Europe and the Middle East by rail. It is seen as a key transportation belt to get Chinese products to markets in Europe. According to Kazakh officials, the People's Republic has invested about $20 billion in Kazakhstan over the years of independence. According to the International Crisis Group report, China's influence and visibility is growing rapidly in other Central Asian states as well. Even though a substantial network of roads, railways, air flights, communication and oil and gas pipelines already connects China to Central Asia, Beijing is trying to increase its presence in the region. It is already the dominant economic force in Central Asia, and within the next few years could well become the preeminent external power there, overshadowing the United States and Russia. According to the official date, China owns 41% of Kyrgyzstan's debt and 53% of Tajikistan's debt. In 2011, Tajikistan ended a border dispute by ceding land in a deal believed to have been agreed in exchange for debt relief. China also has major interests in Turkmenistan, which is one of the world's largest natural gas exporters. However, the country is now fully dependent on China for its gas sales. China has also begun to find ways to involve Afghanistan in its Central Asian agenda through the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. But Beijing is apparently concerned about the Taliban and other Islamist militant groups in Afghanistan due to their possible links with the Muslim population in Xinjiang. Besides China, countries and entities like Russia, the European Union, the United States, Turkey and India have also demonstrated a strong interest in strategically important regions of Central Asia. This has resulted in Central Asia becoming a core region for major power struggles for resources. 3 of the regional states, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan, are members of the Russian-led military bloc, the Collective Security Treaty Organization. Russia is mostly focused on the so-called hard power in Central Asia, which means it sets up military bases in the region and is also involved in weapons deals and counter-terrorism cooperation. Currently, Moscow controls the major pipeline networks for energy exports from Central Asia to Europe. And while China has economic influence in the region, Russia still has a cultural influence on most former Soviet Central Asian republics. Even though Central Asian countries are energy rich, their population is emigrating to look for better working opportunities, mostly in Russia. It is worth noting that Russia's 2016 bilateral trade volume with the region amounted to $18.6 billion compared to China's $30 billion figure for the same period. According to Yu Chao, researcher at the European Institute for Asian Studies, the rising Chinese influence in Central Asia has shifted the balance of power in the region. The EU has been Central Asia's biggest trading partner for decades, but it was surged past by China in 2010. China's strategic focus towards Central Asia is branded as a March West. This strategy was coined by prominent Chinese scholar Wang Jixi in 2012 to respond to the US strategic rebalancing towards the Asia Pacific. As Chao points out, unlike East Asia, Central Asia is an area free from a US-dominated regional order. It is important to note that Russia's vision of Eurasian Union and China's strategy of March West were proposed around the same time, which led to an inevitable potential competition between China and Russia over this strategic region. Besides China and Russia, India is also interested in natural resources from Central Asia. New Delhi is eyeing imports of uranium from Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. India reportedly plans to create firm ties amongst the energy exporting states of Central Asia, particularly Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan. However, India's current trade volume with the Eurasian region is minimal. Still, according to Indian media, New Delhi is considering exploration and production of hydrocarbons in Kazakhstan and participation of its companies in the oil and gas sectors. From 2010, India has been developing the Trans-Afghanistan pipeline along with Turkmenistan, Pakistan and Afghanistan to secure the energy supplies from the region. Turkey also has certain geopolitical influence in Central Asia. Officially, Ankara is interested in cooperation with the Central Asian former Soviet republics due to their common historical, cultural and religious background. In reality, however, Ankara, just like any other power, seeks to get natural resources from the so-called heartland. Securing the steady supply of energy resources from Central Asia is a significant Chinese geostrategic consideration. Raffaello Pantucci, Director of International Security Studies at the Royal United Services Institute, argues that China's natural borders means it will always have a strategic interest in Central Asia. In the long term, China may decide to abandon its current policy of self-restraint in this part of the world. Even though China ruled out any sort of military intervention in its uneasy Central Asian neighbourhood, even in a case of extreme unrest, the International Crisis Group predicts that events may force Chinese leadership to make difficult decisions. That's all for today guys, thanks for watching another KJ vid. I hope you enjoyed this video and would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please don't forget to visit our website kjvids.co.uk and subscribe to one of our plans which will give you unlimited access to all of our geopolitical content. Thanks for watching again and see you next time.